Abortion. What a highly debated topic this is all about over the last few years. And the bottom line is that a woman should have the undeniable right to make the choice with her body, regardless of all of you men out there, because all you have to do is stick your you know what inside of her for 5, 10, 15 minutes. She becomes impregnated. And then what if you're the boyfriend and you find out 4 weeks later, hey honey, I'm pregnant, and then he's like, oh, okay, all right, well, it was nice knowing you, and he is out of there. He leaves, leaving her with the responsibility of having to, if she decides to bring this to full term, or have an abortion, but she maybe can't afford it because she's living in a state where it's very expensive. But then also think about this: what if you're a rich daddy and you have an 18-year-old daughter that's about to go into university, and she gets raped by some mentally ill nut job, and she's pregnant. She comes to you and says, "Daddy, I need to get an abortion because this is going to ruin my whole career going through university." What are you going to do? Are you going to support her or just leave her out to hang? But I can guarantee you this: she will find a way. If she needs to get an abortion, even if it's illegal, she's going to find a way to do it. And I know people that have done that in the past. And let me tell you something about this. Okay, let's say that abortion became illegal all across the country. All right, fine. Think about this. 1920 to 1933, prohibition. Alcohol was banned all across the country. You know what happened? People figured out how to make alcohol in their basements, in their garages, everywhere. And that's when the era of speakeasies happened. And a speakeasy was basically a bar where you could, and I know several of them in Chicago from back in the 1920s, where there's one at the top of a building. I'm not going to name it, but it was a speakeasy on the top of one of the most famous buildings in Chicago, where they had a bar and a secret elevator that went all the way up to the top of that bar, so that all of the people that were, had more money, that found out about it, they could go up there and get their shot of whiskey or whatever. So if prohibition from 1920 to 1933, even though it was illegal to create alcohol, people still did it. What do you think is going to happen with abortion? If they ban it all across the board, it's still going to be legal, even though it's illegal, because people will find a way. If you've got a 14-year-old daughter or a 12-year-old daughter and she gets knocked up by some high school boyfriend, you're going to find a way if she needs to get an abortion, because if she did decide to go through with it, it could ruin her career. She's got to go through. She's not even in high school yet, for goodness sakes. Let her, help her to get an abortion. But if it's illegal in your state, what are you going to do about it? That's the big question. If you're her rich daddy or even a normal family, are you going to help her to resolve this situation? Yes or no? That's the bottom line. So here's the deal. If your daughter is in a very difficult situation and she needs your help as your father or the mother, or if she has single parents or what, it doesn't matter. You need to be there to support her and help her to resolve the situation. That's all there is to it. So just put all of your religious and political beliefs aside, because the one thing that pisses me off is that the whole right-wing religious groups and certain political groups are all against abortion. But if any of them ended up in a similar situation, I can bet you that they would make it possible for their daughters to have the problem solved. That's all I'm going to say. Because it's not fair to control a woman's body when you're just a guy. Women brought all of us into this world because all that guy had to do was stick, and I'm just going to be flat out blunt with it, all he had to do was stick his dick or his cock inside of you, get you impregnated, and then, you know, you have to deal with it if he walks away. That's wrong. So the whole thing about responsibility, because I never would want to have a child in this world if I was not able to provide it with all the financial and support and love and care that it needed so that it could have the same chances that I had growing up, so that it could potentially succeed. So this whole thing about denying a woman's rights, that is absolute bullshit, because if it wasn't for women, because think about it, like I said before, all you have to do is stick your you know what inside. She's pregnant. She's got to carry it for 9 months. And then maybe you might walk away. So the bottom line is that abortion should be an undeniable right for a woman if it's in cases of incest, rape. I mean, think about this. How many women, and this is a big problem. How many women have been raped and impregnated by their own fathers? It's well known that it's happened all across the country. And that is seriously wrong. And what does society do about it? Oh, if you're in a state where abortion is illegal, oh, even though you got raped by your father and now you're pregnant, you still have to carry that child to term. That is absolute effing bullshit. So I could go on and on about this for an hour, but I don't want to get too emotional about it, because as far as I'm concerned, men should stay away from women's bodies when it comes to controlling them. That's the bottom line. Leave them to make the ultimate decision. But when you're a couple and you're married, you make that choice together. Because I was in that position myself at one point, and I ultimately left my wife to make that choice. That she decided, because of life's circumstances at the time, that she needed to get an abortion. And I accepted that. It was a tough decision to go through, but I accepted her choice and respected it. And anyway, enough said. I got to the point, respect your wife, your girlfriend, all women, because they're the ones that should have the ultimate right to control their bodies over men. In fact, women should have more rights than men when it comes to controlling their bodies. Period. Over and out.